What's going on, everyone? It looks like I'm live. So here we go. Let's do a little quickie here. Let's start with the dollar. Looks like the dollar got rejected the last couple days. It is at a higher low. Let's see if this will carry. Looks like it wants to carry. Right now, as we speak, breaking previous lows on tonight's futures market. Make sure we hold the support at 95.50 or so. Otherwise, it's going to fall on over. Let's see on a weekly. Yeah. Look for another leg down on the dollar. Let's see. It's holding support there. I would say in and around 93. I believe that 92 is the last point of no return. Let's call it to 93. Let's see if we can get a hold on the previous pattern. $94. We call support. Break support. Looks like 92 is on its way, and that's over on previous highs. If those previous highs break, could run into the next previous highs. Looks pretty bearish for the weekly chart. Got rejected, slammed down, bearish retrace, got rejected. And it looks like it wants to break previous lows. Watch out below. US dollar. So we'll get a tiny bounce. On the opposite side, you got to look for the double bottom, the higher low, the W. So, but right now, it looks like today's candle has opened up and wants to break previous lows. So watch out below if that happens. And on that weekly, the W can break down. The weekly previous low break could carry it another leg. 94. Dollar doesn't look good. S&P still hanging in there. Should be broken down by now. That's a weekly chart. Looked like it broke down and recovered. It's getting that bearish retracement over the 8. Broke down into the 8. Broke down into the 8. Got rejected this time by the 8. And I got a hanging man on the close today. So watch for the higher low off of support. Watch for previous high breaks as this can hold. This whole thing could just take off. Could be a consolidation pattern. It looks like it hit the bottom and rolled back up. I'm looking for a break below that candle's wick or the top of it to justify up or down. If it stays in the range, it won't matter much. Watch for those higher lows off of support. But you can see the higher low here, it broke down. Higher low here could break down in any minute. 24 would be the break across the 34, and then we take a measure move across. There's your support right there. And then the 34 on the way up. That's your trend. Doesn't look healthy at all. I'm calling it a head and shoulders top. This is just the beginning of the head and shoulders top, as this is just the left head. So this will have to come down, make a right shoulder into resistance, and fall over. So that could take a couple months. That there, right there. VIX, nothing to see here yet. Another, looks like an inverted hammer. Looks like it crossed, came all the way back in. So inverted hammer over support. You can see the 8 and the 13 moving across the 34 here shortly. Dow Jones, same thing. Looks like it broke down, higher low, Looks like it broke down, bearish trace back into the 8. That's my first initial. It's the first thing I see when I see it. I see this chart. See the breakdown back into resistance, closing a double top, higher lows or lower highs. So we got a nice little tight pattern working. So trade outside the pattern. NASDAQ just saved by the bell there. Got a 3-bar pattern here. Looks like a left head shoulder, maybe a right shoulder come in. Reverse head and shoulders at a top. I don't know about that. Looks pretty bullish across the 8 into 13. No rejection yet. That was a big bearish signal, the bearish retracement. Still waiting around rejection on NASDAQ. It was looking pretty nasty and all of a sudden saved by the bell. I do have a head and shoulders top. It's not very definitive, but it is definitely a top there. Head and shoulders top. Watch for the right, or watch for this breakdown at any moment. Could be a last ditch effort to get out for most people on these NASDAQ stocks. Let's keep it going here. I think crude got saved by the bell as well. Hit resistance at the 34, came all the way back into support, just like it should. Held support, now it's going to come on the turn. Look for previous high breaks back across that 34 this time. Maybe hit the 34 and then do a quick one. Looks like crude got saved by the bell. Why not? Little gold. Looks like gold made the measured move across the 34. So should see it come back across. Make sure we hold support. Otherwise, it's going to take another leg back into the line of support there. Looks like a bearish flag into resistance. So watch for another leg down on gold. It's not over yet. Doesn't look like it. Bearish flag, bearish flag. This can easily turn into something bullish as it crosses the 8 back into support. So watch for that. But right now I see a bearish flag into resistance on gold. Silver did a nice bounce. I don't think I bought silver when it was all the way down because it was, but I did buy 3 different times last week. So 1, 2, 3 on the Friday. But we opened at support and kept on going. Let's get above the 8 before we start knocking the table for bouncing. It's not over yet. It needs to get across the 8. Even the 8 and 13 come back into support, make some kind of a pattern. I got a left shoulder head. So this needs to come all the way back up and the back in for an opposing point. And then we can start talking about how bullish it's going to be. Right now, this thing could just fall right on over. Nothing's holding it. Copper down into support one more time. Gathered its legs. Let's get back above the 8 previous highs. Let's get it back above the previous highs on copper. Good looking week so far. At the 1-2 punch, working on that weekly. 1-2 punch. See if we can get it rolling there. Looks like, oh my God. Looks like silver went all the way up to almost $80, 80 coins per 1 ounce of gold. Good time to buy. So Don't know if it's over yet, so keep on buying no matter what. I got the head and shoulders top on Bitcoin. So look at this. The cryptos have already taken a hit. Ethereum's down over 50%. Blah, blah, blah. Lots of them down quite a bit. I've been catching bounces over there at Poloniex. But look for Bitcoin to roll over. Maybe take a couple steps down. I'm not sure where support's going to hold. 2,000 is a big one. 2,100 to 2,000, and then I got support at 1,885. I got pattern support at 1,675, and I got previous highs down all the way down to 13 and 1160, where that first break was. So knowing these cryptos, this is likely to come all the way back into the previous break, which was 1160, that first measured move. So be careful out there. Volatility is good. I don't know why everyone's crying. But Ethereum's down quite a bit. That 2-bar reversal I mentioned quite a ways back on the weekly chart. That's what happens on 2-bar reversals on a long-term chart. That happens. And it's not over yet, I don't think. It just crossed over the 34, so I'm looking for a measured move, a couple legs down. Could be a great opportunity to start scooping up, accumulating Ethereum and the rest of them, by the way. Let Bitcoin fall on over while you pick up the rest. We got reversal here, outside day, moving into the 8. So it's not over yet. This can definitely get rejected. I got a 2-bar reversal, an outside day into the 8. Not much of a rejection, so it would close in at resistance. So this 2-bar reversal is pretty looking pretty good. Over the 8, into the 13, back into support, and climb, climb, climb. But one thing, if this keeps going and it didn't come all the way back down into support, I'm going to say that's double bullish. It didn't come all the way back down into its natural course of return on that trend line. It stopped before it got there. That means it's double bullish. That's what I'm going to call it, double bullish. But it's not over yet. I mean, this could just hit resistance and come back in. So let's get a confirmation first. Let's get support first before that double bullish takes into effect. And I think this line's all screwed up. But same thing, 2-bar reversal into the 8. We need a little gusto past the 8. 2-bar reversal on JNUG. But be careful because that was a pattern break. It could just come back into resistance and flop on over. Watch out for that. It's got to come into resistance, come into an opposing point, hold support, and then build. If this is a bullish pattern, which it's starting off to be a pretty bullish pattern on all the miners, we could just take this and use another opposing point. There we go. That cures all problems. But we don't have any support yet. Get over the 8, 13, back into support, get that opposing point. The V bottoms don't work. V bottoms need that opposing point to find the trend so we can get busting over that 34. This is likely to come back in. You can see the reversal bar. Hanging man right there. And it's breaking previous lows today, so watch out below. That was very telling right there. So I got support at the 8 and the 13. Watch the the 8 and the 34. Watch the 13 come across where price comes down to meet it. Boo, boo, boo. Rolling off the edge here. There we go. Back into support. Bounced right over. Looks like it gapped over resistance. Again, I would hate to trade this thing. Always gapping. Looks like it's bullish. Got a previous high break coming. Bounce, bounce, previous high break, boom. Looks like an inverted hammer over support. Or is that a close below the 8 signaling that it needs to come on back in? We'll see. Watch for previous low breaks as that candle is confirmed on the downside. Close below the 8. That means the momentum's kind of dead. But that is an inverted hammer over support. So let's see how we open tomorrow. If it opens down, watch out below as it comes back into support, gathers its legs, tries again. Damn, Cole. Took off without me. Nice reversal. You can see just beautiful little reverse head and shoulders right there. And then the flat top break. Boom. Right over the 34. Nicely done. So bullish on coal. Daily chart, bullish on coal. Let it keep going. I got resistance up at previous lows. Coming on in. 39, 41, and 42. All the way up. Steel. Looks like I had a 2-bar reversal on steel. Look for steel to hit resistance. Break that resistance and cover the gap. Could be a nice run once it gets into that gap. It could just naturally go into filling all the way up. CLF, nice. Over the 34, back into support. Previous high break today, bam. CLF, here she comes. I love the CLF. That's a nice J curve over the 34, back into support. Previous high break, that's just how it's supposed to be done right there. You could have spotted that bottom over the 34, sold it, came back into support, bought it, and then doubled down on the break. Boom. So my resistance is that line above. And it could be just a little off, but that's because I think I drew it on the weekly. So there's my resistance coming on back up into CLF. Nice bullishness. 2-bar pattern into resistance, back into support, bam. I got resistance coming in at 847, so you should get a nice dollar out of it. AG did a little whipsaw. Broke that line of support. Doubled back. That's what we needed. Just shook everybody out right there, didn't they? Look at all the cells. Could be a little bit darker. Lots of sales coming in. Everyone thought it was just going to dump. Market makers turned around and said, no. We just did that on purpose. So we got a little whipsaw on AG. So what is that? That's bullish. Let's see if we can crack outside that pattern this time. And a whipsaw should do it. Still got resistance on the way up. I got 850. Let's see if we can hit 850, come back in for an opposing point. Climb, 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 pop. USLV double back as well. It needs to get back above support though. It's got a little bit longer ways to go. To get back above support on this one. They just clobbered it, didn't they? That is a 3-bar reversal, so let's see it. The candles that always open down and then close all the way in, those are bullish piercing patterns. And it didn't break 50% of the previous body, but it sure as hell hit it and the next day broke it. So watch for previous high break because this is a very classy bullish piercing 3-bar pattern. NAK, 3-bar pattern off the bottom, saved by the bell. Always, don't you love it? So this candle right here closed all the way down, or opened all the way down and closed all the way in. Hit the 34, back into the 8, previous high break coming, bam, watch URA. That looks like a nice little move coming. Nice little move for URA. UEC still got some building to do, but it looks very close. It could just get rejected here and come back in for support. Watch that. But nice previous high, nice previous bar break, nice reversal off the support line there. But the question is, and remains, is it done with the pattern yet? So watch for a rejection as it comes into support, back, forth, back, forth, back, forth, complete the pattern. It could just bust right out though. So watch previous high breaks. URRE. Watch this one. I think we're a couple weeks early on my estimate for August, because remember we did a measured move through time, because it did this measured move from here to here approximate, and then from there, let's call it to there. Yeah, I think I'm 2 weeks early. So it looks like it's ready. Look at that. Looks like we lost it here, and it's just turned into a huge, elaborate reverse pattern. Left. It's not clear as day, but that is a reverse head and shoulders off the bottom there. And very tightly in here. This pattern. Reversal. So watch for that. This should take a good little run. They took it down hard enough to make that head. And don't mind the other lines. I don't know where resistance is going to show. Come on. Watch for the pop. Watch it come back into support. Where's resistance? Let's see. I'm going to say that first previous low for a first nice little run. If we can get to that first, let's call it 225. 204? No. I guess 2 o'clock high. So should get a nice 50-cent run out of it. Looks like, does this sit on log? No. It's weird. Never mind. Okay, previous lows at 76, and then that line comes in as a balance point at 2. So between 76 and 2. Apple. Apple's trying. Out of the depths. Saved by the bell, maybe? Look at that long candle. There's no way this is going to hold up. Huge candle, bearish. Rejected. Held. Crack. It's just a little tightly wound up in here. Let's see if it comes across resistance, or does it get rejected? Nice 3 days in a row. All green candles. Trying to save this thing from the death. It's going to fall over. That's just an elaborate bearish retracement. If it gets above this line here and shows itself as support, then I'll call it. But I got a J curve here that might get it across. It's popping over the 34 as a double bottom. I mean, what if it freaks? What if it's, I don't know, out of the depths? No one's buying Apple. I don't have $700 for an Apple. I don't know. It could be bullish if it gets across resistance into support and holds. Otherwise, this is going to bearish retrace back into resistance. That's a nice J curve, so it might get a pop and then a fall over. It's tightly wound up in there. And looks like a rejection coming on Google. Crossed over the 34 back into resistance. I don't know. Anything could happen. It was bearish 1 minute, and now it's looking like it could come out of nowhere and be bullish again. It's got to get support. The V bottoms don't work. So when this comes, when this momentum carries and stops and rolls over, does it give us an opposing point for a trend, or does it just fall over? I'm calling a bearish retracement. I don't believe any of this is bullish. So there you go. It looks like uraniums are the best bet right now, but we've got 2-bar reversals on the miners. So start picking up some good miners. Make sure that momentum carries inside that pattern. Sell into resistance, buy it back at support. But anywho's, I'll talk to you guys later. I appreciate every one of you. See ya.